グレートがユナイテッドエンパイア。今日は試合があった。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるんですよ。みんな、ブローキンテーブルポッドキャストよろしく。
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas, here with our co-host, the Broken Predictions champion, as always, Rome. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing excellent, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good after an absolutely freaking fantastic episode of Dynamite tonight. This is episode number 59 of the Broken Tables podcast, and welcome to everybody joining us here in chat. We got Joseph Juhas and Juan already in here with us. Welcome, guys. Wow, dude, what an episode, man. We got a brand new FTW champion, Hook. I got to admit, as soon as Dan Hausen started coming out, I said to the wife, I said, my prediction, Ricky Stark's going to beat up Dan Hausen. Hook's going to make his way out for the second match, and we will have a new FTW champion. And I was correct. I could not believe it. So, yeah, that was an absolutely amazing moment for AEW right there, for Hook, and for his career. I thought that was perfect. Just done absolutely perfect.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about Dynamite tonight, and it was an excellent episode. There are two words that come to mind when I describe tonight, if I were to describe tonight. And those two words are elevation and evolution.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into it, but this was really an excellent show, and also kind of felt like a rebound show. I mean, Maduga is saying in the chat as soon as I'm bringing it up, but this felt like it was TK's response to everyone that said the AEW was dying. Today,
Yeah.
Tony Khan was on the warpath. The last few days, between the Fightful report about all the ex-WWE guys who were talking about, if Triple H was in charge when they left, they probably would have stayed. Just in general, Twitter was kind of toxic too. The anti-AEW Twitter was really loud the last few days. I actually got off Twitter a little bit for a few days there.
So did I. But mine was more natural. I didn't even realize that was going on. I just naturally got off Twitter for a few days.
You picked a great time to get off.
Nice.
It was toxic as fuck because, and I do want to kind of open up a little discourse later on about WWE, just to kind of talk about it a little bit. But yeah, Twitter was rough, and I just felt like between Tony Khan's Busted Open appearance today and the show in general tonight, AEW will be fine.
Yeah.
And anyone that's telling you otherwise, don't listen to them, because they are part of the cult, which the cult is still there over in the WWE fandom. And that cult might never go away, but if anyone's telling you AEW is in trouble or anything like that, just kindly don't pay attention to them.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into our AEW Dynamite review. Jim Ross started us off tonight. Usually he shows up around 9 o'clock and he does the Rampage show as well. I'm not sure if he was going to do all 3 hours tonight. Maybe Big T could hit us up a little later and let us know whether he's still there at Rampage. But we had Jim Ross all night tonight. That was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know they were trying new things with him. They wanted to see if he was going to boost Rampage ratings, and Rampage's ratings were actually up the last 2 weeks, so maybe he is helping it. So let's go over some chats real quick. Juan saying TK is on a mission. Uduga saying the people body shaming Adam Cole are now asking him to come back to WWE. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yep,
and then when
same
people learned he signed through 2027, they went right back to it. Juan saying, Rome, Jeff is a part of the cult. Oh, snap. Is that true, Jeff?
No, I'm definitely not a part of the cult because, I despise Mr. McMahon.
So I'll say this. I happen to have a source. That source tells me, a little bird if you would, that little bird tells me that you not only watched Monday Night Raw this week, you also watched NXT. Is there any truth to that? Would you like to comment on the speculation that's rampant over in the Broken Tables podcast Discord?
I will admit to minutes worth of each that both led to me turning them off. I started off watching Raw just to see if Triple H would do some sort of speech at the beginning. He did not. We actually started in the middle of a brawl between Logan Paul and The Miz, which made no sense to me that we didn't hear anything that got them to start their fight. So I immediately turned that off. And then I thought, okay, it's NXT. Maybe we're going to get Triple H back on NXT being like, we are NXT, but nope. We started off with a promo from some girl who apparently has been injured for a long time, welcome back, whatever. But she must have went on for 6 minutes. I turned it off after 3. I turned it back on a couple minutes later, and she was still going on and on about Mandy Rose, so I turned it off. I will admit to at least 5 minutes of each show.
I know, I was just busting your balls on Discord.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
For the last few days, I know. No, everyone, Jeff is not part of the cult. He's just intrigued.
Jeff Hardy is now in the ICP wrestling world. Oh, yeah, okay.
Is that really? No, I don't know about that.
So I actually think Jim Ross coming out for this one was because of the Moxley match. I think they really wanted him to be there for this match, so it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
And we did get the first match of the night was Moxley versus Roosh for the AEW Interim Championship with William Regal on commentary. Roosh attacks Moxley before the bell. There was a little bit of a misstep here, from the ref. He never actually started the match. We never got a bell to start the match, but it is what it is when they have these messy beginnings to a match. Roosh bit Moxley on his forehead to cause him to start bleeding, correct? Is that where Mox's blood came from him biting him?
Yeah, so Roosh was beating down Moxley, like you said, before the bell. He actually, he bit Moxley on the forehead, and then Mox began bleeding from the bite, which was a really cool touch. He just continues to beat him down, and then in which case, Roosh attempts to incapacitate Moxley with a chair to the knee, which luckily Mox dodges, begins fighting back a little bit, and that leads to what was a really good back and forth match. I mean, like you said, it would have been nice if Paul Turner had rang the bell when he was supposed to.
Yeah.
But all in all, this was a really awesome way to start the show and a really fun match. And Roosh looked great. I wanted to point out how much I enjoyed actually the picture in picture. During the picture in picture, Roosh is kind of messing with Mox, and he does some pretty good heel work in the picture in picture. It's a shame we didn't see it in TV. Goodbye, Tiger. Tiger was on my lap. I don't know if anyone noticed, but he just jumped off. So Roosh, he has him in the corner on the ground, and you think he's going to do a running drop kick. Instead, he runs up, full blown, just sprints up, stops, and then just almost does an Orange Cassidy kick. Just kind of just kicks him once in the face, and then he starts showboating. Which that was a really cool moment because Roosh has been pretty kick-ass in the ring from what we've seen. But it was nice to kind of see him showboat a little bit then, kind of show some character.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. That drop kick in the corner is actually Roosh's finisher. So I was like, oh my God, he's going to do his finisher during the commercial break. But yeah, then he put on the brakes and gave him a little tap, and he kind of laid down on the ring and did a whole I'm a sexy boy type thing. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. In the chat, Juan saying Triple H and Paul Heyman were seeing SummerSlam recruits today. They were. And if Triple H is smart, he's going to keep Paul Heyman as included as possible. That's just my opinion personally. Juan saying maybe Jeff didn't have time to do NXT this week. I think that's what he's implying.
I think he's referring to Triple H. Maybe he didn't have time. What I actually think is happening is the final 3 shows that Vince wrote, possibly 4 with SummerSlam, I think they're kind of honoring him with not changing the last 4 shows that he wrote, being Raw, SmackDown, and then SummerSlam, 3 shows, I guess, and NXT, so 4. So I think they're kind of honoring him with that.
So I also would and we're going to talk about it later. I do want to have a discussion later, but I would advise caution because while I have faith in Triple H, I do. I'm a Triple H guy. Historically on the show, I think we could all agree I've made it very clear that I am a Triple H guy.
What up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan? But we need to understand that running NXT in the black and gold era is not the same as running 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of NXT. They don't seem to be avoiding the initiatives of finding athletes over pro wrestlers. I do believe that there were some indie wrestlers at the SummerSlam tryouts, but we do need to approach with caution.
Yeah.
WWE is not going to change right away.
Not right away,
Like,
no.
if it is going to change, it's going to take a long time. Like, I wouldn't like we might see some Triple H calls at SummerSlam. Like, I definitely think we will, but I mean, like, anyone expecting the product to automatically just be like, oh, amazing. Don't expect that. Like, and that's not saying that it won't get there, but like, again, like, that's why I didn't even tune into Raw. And even if I start watching WWE again, I probably won't watch NXT. But like, that's why I'm not jumping back in yet. And we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, let's get back on track here, but this was an amazing match. Like you said, Roosh looked great. This was a really good introduction to Roosh. You know, if you weren't really familiar with him, you should be well versed in him now. He looked really good here. Had a lot of his own. He carried the match pretty much.
Yeah. So
Moxley
Jeff,
hit him with a
video. Sorry,
What's that?
we had a video game sign at this point.
What was that?
It was Valve Fears Trilogies.
Valve Fears Trilogies. I saw the Valve Fears. I couldn't read that third word. Okay, that's what it was.
Trilogies, and then right next to him there was another one. It said Remaster Morrowind and Oblivion, which that would be dope.
Yeah.
Which I think if I recall, I think Bethesda actually created a studio to remake their old games. So fans of those games might get what they want, which would be very, very cool to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan
So
saying,
Mox hits Roosh with a Death Rider. Roosh actually kicks out of it, but Mox just immediately puts him into the Bulldog choke and chokes him out for the finish there. And Juan says in chat, Vince wanted athletes more so than indie wrestlers because he wants to create his own. Yeah, he wants it to be his own creation. Yeah. Hopefully Triple H goes back to the original way. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we will. Again, it's okay to be optimistic, but I would preach cautious optimism.
Yeah, you gotta look at the fact that why is Nick Khan still there? You know what I mean? It's because the company is still gonna get sold. You know what I mean? And right now everything's being done for optics and for maximizing the view count, and putting Triple H in that position is obviously the best move that they could have made. I literally could not think of anybody better for them to put into the spot, you know what I mean, for viewership terms. So for me right now, it's all just optics. We'll see if anything actually happens.
So there was a line during the commentary that I really enjoyed that I wanted to share. So towards the end of the match, when Mox starts stomping into Roosh's jaw, Taz says, "You won't learn that in any dojo," and Regal says, "You will in ours."
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that was an awesome line. And in which case, Mox starts biting Roosh back, just starts going to town on him until we get an interference by Andrade.
Yeah, Andrade interfered. I forgot about that part. Caused Penta and Fenix to come out and chase him off, huh?
Yeah. And again, I also, there was another line after it I didn't write down, but I really love the Taz William Regal dialogue that we got in this first match. It was very good. But like you said, Mox hits the Death Rider, Roosh kicks out. Mox gets the Bulldog choke going in which case Roosh taps out and he retains. I thought this was a great match. Super fun opener.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the same. I thought this was a great match. That, Paul Turner missing the bell ring irked me a little bit at the beginning. I even wrote, "Come on, Paul," but it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic match. Great way to start off. I like how he started off with a championship match again. Tony Khan's booking, when you first, like, if you were to look at it on paper, you'd be like, I don't know, man, you're going to lead it with a championship match, but it just feels great, doesn't it?
It really does. And again, I think that Tony Khan booked this show tonight. Like, I don't want to say Tony Khan's back was against the wall, because it wasn't. But I feel like Tony Khan booked this show like it was.
Yeah.
This was Tony Khan swinging for the fences, really putting his best foot forward. We've had a little bit of a slow summer, in my opinion, apart from like Christian Cage being amazing and amongst other great things. Not that the shows have been bad, but this was the first show in a little while that like really felt like it picked up for me. And again, I started the show saying elevation, evolution. And this was the first time tonight. You had Roosh, a relatively young guy, not well known to AEW fans at this point. I mean, he's obviously well known in other promotions. But this guy went toe-to-toe with the world champion and had a damn good match. He looked very credible. There were moments towards the end of the match where you kind of like, oh, wow, is Roosh going to win this? And yeah, again, I'm going to say these words a lot tonight. Elevation, evolution. We saw Roosh elevated here. You know, he took that next step and he was established as someone credible who deserved a world title shot and almost gave Mox a, run for his money.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I didn't even know who Roosh was. I'm gonna be honest. Until we saw him a few weeks ago, I had never heard of him, never seen him. I love his look when he comes out on stage. Roosh El Toro Blanco. He's got a big old bull skull mask he wears. He's kind of got that same suit that Andrade does, where he pulls the suit off from the front. I love everything about the guy, man. He's a great luchador heel. I can't wait to see what else him and Andrade do coming up.
So, Jeff, unfortunately, now is the time, the part of the show where you're going to have to eat your words, unfortunately. So,
yes, this is where I get to eat some crow, you guys.
I tried to warn you, but it's fine. So, JAS comes out, joined by the newest member of the JAS, Anna J, also known as Anna JAS. I wrote in my notes, I was like, sorry, Jeff, but it's time to own up to it.
Like, oh yeah, I went right to Discord and I was like, well, I'm eating some crow today.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's understandable, but yeah, so they, JS comes out and Jericho's talking about how, he demands his rematch. So for those probably, everyone should know, but so Mox beat Jericho for the world title about 2 years ago, right before the pandemic. I guess it's probably, it's been about 2 years.
He said 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. Jericho never got his rematch. Jericho's now demanding his rematch 2 weeks from now, Quake in the Lake. Jericho incorrectly states that he will be the first two-time Le Champion, which Moxley corrects him, saying, I'm the first two-time champion. And we got an all-time, like, a generational promo from Moxley. And Moxley is just a generational talker in general.
Yep.
This is just another Wednesday night for Jon Moxley. But Jon Moxley cuts this promo, and he's talking about, I respect you, Chris. And I may not respect you now, but I used to worship you. I used to respect the hell out of you. Let's fucking do it. Let's have this match in 2 weeks. But I want the Chris Jericho that I used to watch on VHS tapes. I want the Lionheart. He's like, the line that I loved was, I want the last survivor of the Heart Dungeon.
Yeah. Now, my favorite line was the very first thing Mox said on the mic, and I'm not sure you kind of glossed over it there. The first thing Mox said on the mic was, God, I hate you, Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard when he said that.
Yeah, you're right. I wrote it in my notes, but I missed it. He also says, I hate sports entertainment. He says, this isn't the world universal championship. Like clearly we know what he's talking about. He's like, this is the AEW. This is not your sports entertainment title. This is the pro wrestling title. This is the premier pro wrestling title. And again, that's why I missed things, because it was just, it's an excellent promo. Everything Mox said here was just on point. Juan saying he thinks AEW should add Bryan Danielson into that Mox Jericho match. Maybe Danielson could turn on Mox.
I don't know about that right now, because
Bryan Danielson getting a title match. I'll never say no to that. But
it wouldn't make any sense right now for him to just be added to it. Like, we would need a reason, especially with Danielson losing tonight and pretty much selling his concussion throughout the entire night as well. I tell you, that was playing with my emotions, but we'll get to that later on. Yeah, and like I said, I was wrong as heck about Anna J leaving the Dark Order, so hang on 1 second. I got to do something real quick.
I assume Jeff is doing something with his background.
There we go. See Jeff. All fixed.
I got. Hold on. I got to see.
Yeah, you'll see.
I will see.
And I got to admit, as a heel on the mic, she was only on the mic for like 10 seconds, but I liked it. Her outfit, she's wearing an all red leather one piece. Looked good. So I liked it. I liked it.
Oh, it was intense. It was definitely intense. I don't know whether I liked it or not. I need to see more of it. Part of me was like, "Damn, that's intense." But the other part of me was like, "Is she just kind of like preaching a little bit?" But I mean, we'll see. I like Anna Jay, so I'm willing. I'm excited to see Anna Jay do something meaningful for the first time in like a year and a half. So
Yeah, it did look like they were trying to give her a little bit of a crazy girl character where she was like yelling at the crowd, like, I'll choke you out. I'll choke you out. And then she was like calming herself down. So, we'll see. If she can nail the character, it'll be good.
She probably pointed at Big T, was like, "I'll choke you out."
Yeah.
King
That was
Sport
good.
got back.
She was
Big T.
actually pointing in that direction, but Big T's watching some Rampage right now, so I'm jealous.
Yeah.
All right. Next up after this was the reveal of the trios titles, man. Wow, these things were absolutely gorgeous. And let me see if I can find a picture of them. But
while you're fighting them,
yeah.
I just fucking love that AEW, they just like cut to the table and the belts are just sitting there like, "Hey guys, by the way, trios titles are a thing. We're going to do a tournament. Winners will be crowned at All Out." And it's just like, no big announcement tease, no anything crazy. They're just like, "Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's fine."
Yeah. And if you guys didn't get a chance to see the trios titles, here they are right here. They are going to be holding a tournament that is somehow going to be finished up at All Out. We don't know the details on that tournament yet, but yeah, we got the trios championships revealed, and the belts are not as intricate as I thought they were going to be, but I do think they are still absolutely gorgeous. Whoever is making these new belts, they all look fantastic. I love them.
Jeff, I feel like these belts look a little bit like our designs for the new Broken Predictions Championship.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's got the same
very similar
Earth symbol there in the middle.
Yeah, the globe. I mean, not that it's super original, but I mean it's very fitting for a world championship.
Yeah.
But no, I think that they're pretty nice belts. I think they're pretty good looking. Looking forward to the trios titles. I mean, AEW does trios matches very well, and it just makes a lot of sense to add these titles. We've known they've been coming, but Jeff, you do know what this means, right?
What are you referring to?
How you doing, Jeff?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. I think I'm following you now, but go ahead.
So we've been asking Tony Khan about these trios titles for a while now. And do you recall what Tony Khan said the last time that someone asked him about the trios titles?
I believe he said he was waiting for a certain person's return before he revealed them.
Yeah, certain cleaner, if I recall correctly.
Ah, yes. Now, I thought this was actually going somewhere else. I thought
we're gonna get to that. No, we're gonna get to that. Let's not talk about it yet.
Okay.
Because I know it's coming up. No, man. Kenny Omega, man. Prepare. Everyone get prepared. Tony Khan said the other day, or actually it might have been today. I'm not sure. It was at some point this week. He said, we at AEW are very close to being full staff. And
ooh, that's a good way to put it. I like that.
He said he said full power actually, but I said I'm saying full staff. He said full power, and I think that day is gonna be fucking awesome. Like when we can finally get back on track, and we have CM Punk, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Bebe. Like when we get to this point where we are back at full force, my God, because we haven't. At no point has AEW been at 100%. Like in terms of who's signed right now, you know what I mean? Because like we had Kenny, and we had Bryan Danielson, and then we had Punk for a little bit, but then Kenny like pretty much went out almost immediately afterwards. You know what I mean? And there was just like nothing really lined up, and we're about to be lined back up really nicely. Probably, I would say, come All Out.
Oh yeah, I can't wait, man. The next 6 months are gonna be fantastic. That's all I can say.
Absolutely.
All right, so yeah, like I said, those trios titles look they look great. I thought they were gonna be all like crazy extravagant, but I'm pleasantly surprised that they're a little bit more simple and they don't overtake any of the other titles in how grand they look. So I'm kind of digging that.
Yeah, it's a very I like it. It's very classy. It's very classy.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
doesn't need to be uh it doesn't need to be gaudy and like too much. Like
Yep, agreed.
very classy looking belt is perfect for trios titles, tag titles. The only title I really need to be like bedazzled out beyond all belief is the world title.
Yeah. All right, next up was a promo backstage with of all people on the roster, I could not freaking believe it. Dante Martin and Tony Schiavone, but in his defense, he did fine. I thought this was just fine. He kind of advised us that Sky Blue was going to be in his corner since Sammy Guevara was going to have Ty Conti in his corner. Um, like I said, I was shocked as soon as I saw him with Tony. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" But he did fine. That's all I can say. He did fine.
So Jeff, I'm gonna say it again. Elevation, evolution.
Yeah,
I have to give Dante Martin props, and I'm glad we're kind of on the same page
yeah,
here.
me too.
Was this promo great? Not at all. Was it good? Yeah, it was. It was good. It was something very workable. We can work with this. And I thought it was a really great move, smart move to put Sky Blue with Dante Martin. Tonight was the first time where I saw character from Dante Martin. Like like just something character other than his work outside the ring. Before tonight, we talk about it every week. It's very like it's bland. His gimmick is I am a pro wrestler who can jump very high. That was his thing,
Yeah,
right? And like he's still that, but like he's got character now. Like again, it was a really it was I don't want to say really good. I guess maybe I'm gonna praise it a little bit more because it's the best work he's done on the mic to date. Um, but again, it was a good promo. Dante saying that Sammy's been off in Paris and getting engaged to Ty and kind of just like where has he been for the last month and last 2 months or whatever. And Dante's like, I've been busting my ass here week in, week out, wrestling every week, trying to get better, improve my craft.
yeah,
And I thought that was a really great place to come from. Because Dante Martin, extremely hardworking guy. And adding Sky Blue to that, hopefully it's more of a long-term addition. I think it really helps him. And I think I thought it was great in terms of what I would expect from him. I would define it as great.
yeah.
Now, overall, not
Yeah, I
great.
agree.
But it was a great step in the right direction for Dante Martin.
Yeah, I
And
agree,
why? And
100%.
again, I'm gonna say it a lot tonight. Elevation, evolution. Like what a fucking night. Just all the young guys, man. Tonight it was wild.
I like that. I might put that up on the title of the podcast for tonight. Elevation and evolution.
Let's make a shirt.
Yeah. So next up was the FTW Championship with Dan Hausen versus Ricky Starks. And I don't know what it was. I just had this feeling that, it was obvious Starks was going to destroy Danhausen or something funny was going to happen. But I just felt like I was like, he's going to do the same thing as last week. He's going to challenge someone else and it's going to be Hook. And sure enough, Danhausen comes out and he actually holds his own for a few seconds. It was only like a 2 minute, maybe 3 if pushing it. But Danhausen held his own for a second, but got caught with a spear, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. And Ricky Starks says, this time I'm serious. Bring someone else out. I want another match. And yeah, man, it's Hook. I even, I screamed it at my TV when he was asking for the opponent. I was like, send Hook, send Hook. And they did. And Starks and Hook had a great quick match there. And Hook wins the FTW Championship, man. What did you think of this?
I want to give my thoughts, but real
Yeah.
quick. Juan in the chat asking you a question, Jeff, that I think you need to answer. Where the hell is the fuck Forest shirt?
we would have to
people wanna know.
we would
They
have
want
to
answers.
pay him royalties on stuff like that, and then I'd have to do all kinds of paperwork, putting him back on the books. Like,
You don't have to pay him royalties. The guy's not even real. He's a virtual boy. We don't need to pay a virtual boy any royalties. We'll give him fake money. We'll give him like fucking fake money. I don't know.
I'll have to see what the legalities of that are, since I think he legally owns his
We'll scam
name.
him with cryptocurrency.
Remember, he legally owns that name, so got to be careful.
Well, I'm not afraid of him.
If you could get Sterling on it, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to him. Anyways, what did I think, man? Let me tell you something, Jeff.
First off, what did you think of his orange gear? Whew.
I wrote that in my notes, and when I saw Hook in the orange gear. So, again, Jeff, you are not a born Philly guy. You're a converted Philly guy.
Yeah.
So, admittedly, it doesn't mean... It means, more, like... I'm putting myself in a hole here by saying an opinion as a fact, but this whole Taz FTW belt thing means a lot to me. Probably a lot more to me than it does to you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, of course, yes.
Like, I don't want to put you in that spot and like declare that, but like that's...
No, I get where you're coming from. I totally get
living here. The legacy of that belt, the legacy of Taz, super important. And to see his son, Hook, come out, and like big fan of Hook, been a huge fan of Hook. We've talked about him a lot on the show. To see Hook come out and win his father's championship. Taz saying stuff like when he was a kid, he would point at that belt on the mantle. And like I fucking felt that, man. Like there was a lot of like emotion going crazy. I was so hyped for Hook and so happy for this guy. And like again, to just see him come out in the orange and win his dad's title that his dad made. It was fucking perfect. Like it was beautiful. It's poetry. It's art. It's cinema. Tony Khan makes cinema, and this was cinema.
Yeah.
It's funny because I wrote this in my notes. When Hook comes out, which we also, I don't know if you mentioned it, but I also wanted to give a shout out to when Tony Starks first came out for the Dan Hausen match. That intro video was awesome. I don't know if you mentioned it, but I just wanted to talk about that.
You said Tony Stark.
Sorry, Ricky Starks. Jesus Christ. Tony Stark from Game of Thrones.
That was funny.
Sorry, my bad. Ricky Starks. I'm all over the place with this. This was a very amazing thing.
Yeah.
Segment. So I'm watching Hook come out, and Hook's facing down Ricky Starks, and I wrote in my notes, this is the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. Like this is like you have a guy in Ricky Starks who is just on fire right now. The dude is gold, and then you have Hook come out, who is this immovable object. Like he's not like Andre size, but like you can't fuck with Hook. So having that match was excellent, and having these two matches back to back, but at the same time not be very long, just felt right. Like I think having Ricky do a few minutes with Danhausen to kind of wear him down a little bit, to justify Hook kind of coming in and beating him in like 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it was.
Yep.
I just thought that was perfect. And obviously, like what a moment. Hook hit getting the red rum on, which again is the same. It's the Taz mission. It's the Kaja Hajime, which was Taz's submission finisher. He beats Ricky Starks with it to win the FTW championship. And then you get the sign of respect for the two. And like, what a fucking incredible moment tonight.
It was great. From beginning to end.
This whole thing, from Ricky Starks' intro video up until what happens after the commercial break, is just so incredible. You know what I mean? And like, so they go to commercial, they come back, and Ricky Starks cuts an extremely emotional promo in the ring, right? He starts talking about how people said when he was given the FTW championship, it was a noose, and he turned it into an opportunity. And
turned it into a tie.
About how he deserves what?
He said he turned it from a noose into a tie.
Right. Yeah. I didn't get to write the whole quote down.
Yeah.
Again, I was transfixed with everything that happened here. I also wrote a lot about it in my notes. So sorry if I ramble on a little bit.
No.
He cuts Sorry, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, one of the things that like got me so much with this was just the fact that like Hook looked like he was about to cry when they were about to hand him the belt, but then he kind of like, he almost like hulked up a little bit to kind of like force himself not to. It was touching, man. This whole thing was just very touching. And
yeah, and the crowd was just perfect for it. Again, this is perfect moments and elevation, evolution.
yeah, and I
For
remember wondering,
Starks.
every week with that belt, that FTW championship, like, how are they going to have this belt move to someone else in the future? Like, I could just never see like anyone else challenging for it or anything, all that stuff. This is just perfect. It makes sense. It's just perfection, beginning to end.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's funny because before this promo, I write in my notes, Ricky Starks will be a babyface soon. It's hard to deny it. Like I wrote this in my notes.
Yeah.
So Ricky cuts this emotional promo talking about how he deserves to be, in the main event. That's basically what he's saying. He's like, I deserve more than 45 seconds to talk to you guys. And Will Hobbs, with probably like in recent memory, one of the most shocking heel turns, like betrayals for me. I did not see it coming at all. Hobbs just decks him from behind and hits him with this spine buster.
Dude, I audibly yelled, "What?" I screamed, and I was like, "No way!"
Yeah, I was shocked. Juan saying Ricky Starks was talking like Cena and how he turned the U.S. Championship around. Yeah, it's definitely similar.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
But so I was shocked, right? So we get this turn. Hobbs is leaving Team Taz. Team Taz is split up. Ricky Starks is going to be a babyface moving forward, which Taz is clearly sticking with Starks, which definitely makes sense considering that Hook is cheered as a babyface. Like Hook was never a heel really to begin with, so it makes sense to kind of have the two of them be faces. Ricky Starks is just so over, and I would assume after a program with Will Hobbs, we're going to see bigger and better things from Ricky Starks. And obviously, with the change of the regime in WWE, we could, let's be realistic. There's going to be people that make that jump. We would be naive to assume that nobody makes that jump. But if I'm Tony Khan, like the guys that you elevated tonight, like throughout the night, specifically Ricky Starks and Hook, like you need to make sure these guys are locked down, like as long as you can.
Yeah. And I want to see where Hobbs is going. Where Hobbs is going after this, man. Like, I know a lot of people are interested in Ricky Starks, but after this turn, I'm like, whoa, where does Hobbs go from here? Because, wow, like, this was shocking, man.
So, I also just want to kind of real quickly, before we move on, I want to run down the night that Ricky Starks had tonight. And you tell me if this wasn't, excuse me, I have to sit down. Like, if this wasn't an all-timer night for anyone in any company. All right, so check this out. So he started his night, he had a title match with a super over babyface. He made it fun, and he won.
Mm-hmm.
Then he put over a new young talent for a title he had established while he was still technically a heel.
Yep.
Then he cuts a very like relatable, realistic babyface promo, and then like it was a kayfabe promo, but it was a very real promo.
Yeah.
And then he he turns babyface in one sentence, and then Will Hobbs turns heel, and like that was the night Ricky Starks had tonight. You can't question the greatness there. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. Like, what the fuck? Like, you can't. Like, I don't know how anyone could top that in one night. Like the things that Ricky Starks accomplished tonight, and at every turn he did phenomenal.
Yeah.
Elevation, evolution.
Tony is definitely doing what the E did not do for the past couple years, and he is building new stars for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next up we got the Acclaimed cutting a video package promo on the Ass Boys. This was amazing. We got to see a jersey version of the Acclaimed on Caster and the football version of the Acclaimed shirt on Bowens. And I really hope we can get both of these eventually on the store. I want the football jersey really bad. But I have a
Yeah,
feeling they're going to go with the basketball jersey.
I hope not, because I really want the football jersey.
Yeah, me too.
But so this was a really fun promo. The Acclaim basically say they have a music video coming Friday, which I'm so excited for. And in the music video, it will reveal the kind of match that they're going to have with the Ass Boys.
Sweet. So we'll be
And
looking
again,
forward to that on Friday.
Yep, we're going to get the music video on Friday. And again, it just is just maybe not so much here, but elevation, evolution. This was a really cool continuation of kind of experimenting what we can do with the Acclaimed as baby faces. You know, they've turned face, and they've definitely been doing some interesting new ways of doing promos. It's not just them walking out to the ring and doing raps. This was a really fun little segment that teases Rampage. And again, the young guys reign supreme tonight, as we
Absolutely.
saw throughout the whole night, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Next up was Sammy Guevara versus Dante Martin, with Ty Conti in Sammy's corner and Sky Blue in Dante's corner. This was a great back and forth match. Dante impressed me a bit tonight. I don't hate him quite as much as I did before, to be honest with you. He had a great promo earlier, and I thought this match was good. So good on him, man. He's starting to win me over.
So I wrote in my notes, like, Dante is showing character tonight.
Yeah.
Like, even in this match, it was a very character-driven. Probably this was Dante Martin's best match to date.
Yeah.
Absolutely, not just because of the athleticism showed, but again, like we've talked about it. I love the storytelling of pro wrestling. That includes promos, but it also includes in the ring. I don't need it to be the craziest, most athletic showcase. Like, obviously I enjoy it and I appreciate it, but at the end of the day, tell me a story. And like Dante Martin told me a story tonight. And like, for a lack of a better term, I fucks with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I think it is, a lot of his stuff used to look a little choreographed because, he was learning, and, he was still green in the ring there. He had to make sure he was going to land on his feet when he was doing his flips and flying around stuff. Now that I feel like he's a lot more comfortable in the ring, he's able to focus on his facial expressions and his selling a little bit more. So it feels like you said, he had a lot more emotion or whatever in the ring tonight. So good on him. He's actually progressing. And like I said, he impressed me. So yeah, good on him.
Yeah, that being said, this was still a crazy athletic match that I just really enjoyed. I enjoyed it one part where Sammy's just kind of like, fuck this, I'm out. And Dante chases him up the ramp. Dante throws him off the stage and then dives onto him from the stage. The air that Dante Martin got there is like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Like, I was like, how does this dude have hops like that? Like, how can any human being jump that high and that far?
Yeah,
like
that was wild. And if we're not explaining it well enough to impress you, at the end of this match, Jim Ross said, "Damn." Like, even Jim Ross was impressed. And normally these flip and flying guys, he's not into it. He thought this was a good match too. You could tell. But
and
there was one cringe moment in this match. Sky Blue was sitting on the apron and Dante like leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. And it looked like she almost pulled away from it. But like, it was just a little, I was like, that didn't need to happen at all.
So I completely disagree. I thought that, like, if it wasn't planned, maybe Sky Blue kind of pulled away, but that could be just like, these guys are they're just coming together to work together.
I know.
So like Dante's showing some character, like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
That's exciting to me. And like Sky Blue is like, Sky Blue is like, hey, we like just met. You know what I mean? Dante's like, nah, man, I'm feeling this. Like, again, like I was very impressed, and we'll see where we go from here. Do I expect Dante Martin to be like an all-timer? No, but like, being serviceable is a lot better than not being serviceable. Like, last week we were literally making fun of Dante Martin, and now we can sit here and be like, he showed some character tonight. It was great progression. Jeff, what am I going to say? I'm going to say it. Elevation, evolution. It was excellent. And kudos to Sammy also for really helping Dante get his best match. This was his best match, in my opinion. Because because it told a story. It was still extremely athletic, extremely impressive, but he told a story. He showed character. And at the end of the day, I can't say end of the day for some reason today. At the end of the day, he put it all together, and that's what you need to do. Was he great? No, but he put it all together, and it was serviceable. It was good.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Juan saying, I always thought Dante could have been a good fit for Best Friends, but good to see him putting on a great showing. See, I wouldn't have liked Dante in Best Friends.
Yeah, I'm not sure he fits. He's a little goofy for them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, like his.
It's not the same kind of goofy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's an unnatural goofy.
Yeah.
But Sammy hits the GTH and gets the win. And a really good finish in the match. Sky Blue tries to get in the way of Sammy continuing to beat up Dante. And Sky Blue gets beat up for her troubles there from an Anna JAS that runs down to the ring. I love that, by the way, that works so well. Anna JAS. That's great. And then we get Eddie Kingston and Ruby Soho come out for the save, and they run off Sammy, Tay, and Jay. And I do think Ortiz was there as well, right?
Yes, he was. Yeah. Real quick, towards the end of this, I always love when we get the classic JR isms. JR said that Eddie Kingston is tougher than a $2 steak tonight.
Yeah, I laughed at that too.
I always appreciate that stuff.
Yep. All right, next up, we got a quick promo with Daniel Garcia and Tony Schiavone hyping up their match later tonight with Bryan Danielson. That was fine. It did what it needed to do. And next up was a pretty interesting promo with Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh cutting a promo on the Best Friends. The Best Friends literally walk up because they were standing 6 feet away like, hey, didn't you see us standing here in our tie-dye outfits? Yeah. And I love how they roped Sanjay Dutt into... They basically challenged them to a trios match, and they got Sanjay all riled up saying that he couldn't wrestle anymore. And Sanjay accepted the match. And then all of a sudden, when the Best Friends walk away, he yells at Jay Lethal, what did I do? He's like, why did you let me accept this match?
I'm excited, man. This is the first time Sanjay Dutt's going to be wrestling since 2017.
Right? Wasn't he back in Impact?
Yeah, I believe that's where he finished up. But
yeah,
I'm very excited to see Sanjay Dutt. Rampage this week is going to be a really fun show. Big T is currently probably having a phenomenal time. Big T probably watching
the main event
podcast in the future. What's up, Big T? Hope you had a great time, man.
Yeah,
King's
man.
Court representing at Dynamite tonight. Appreciate that.
So I thought this was great. I loved the reaction of Sanjay afterwards of like, oh God, what have I done? It was pretty funny, and Lethal just kind of laughed at him like, bro, what did you just do?
I saw a comparison on Twitter, and I thought it was so perfect. Sanjay Dutt in this promo was like Scrappy Doo from Scooby-Doo, where he's just like getting into fights that he should not be putting himself into. But yeah, it was a really fun little segment. We're gonna have a good time on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up was Jungle Boy coming out for a segment, and he brought his monster Luchasaurus with him, still in black. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm seeing you shake your head. I'm not sure if you enjoyed this or didn't enjoy this, but I absolutely thought Jungle Boy killed this segment. This was great, in my opinion. There was a sign in the audience, if you didn't see it, that said, damn it, he's a jungle man. What did you think? Go ahead.
So I was shaking my head. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing excellent.
That's great. I'm really glad to hear it. I'm having a great time tonight. So I loved this Jungle Boy promo. I was shaking my head just because I was in pure bliss.
Yes, disbelief almost.
Like, so here's the thing, right? So Jungle Boy comes out. Now, mind you, Jungle Boy's never really had that big babyface single star promo. He's never had this moment to shine in the sun where we kind of give him his time to, say what he needs to say. This man, you're right, not this boy. This man grabs the mic and says, "Christian Cage, you are the biggest pussy I've ever met in my entire life." And I was like, "Oh my god!" So this promo was excellent. And this is the first time that I've heard a Jungle Boy promo where I was like, "This right here, chef's kiss." This was excellent. Like, was he really pushing that TV-14 rating tonight? Absolutely, he was.
Oh yeah.
And was the fact that he was cursing, like, did that make it better? In some places, yes.
I think
But
yes,
the
it
seriousness, and just everything, every line the Jungle Boy hit stung so hard. I love the look. I love, like, say it with me, Jeff. Ready? Elevation, evolution. You didn't say it with me, but it's okay. This was like, so Jungle Boy number one, he comes out with the jacket, wearing the jacket that Christian Cage put over him when he knocked him out. So
Yeah, I
Jungle Boy
didn't
now,
notice
he's got
that.
this great new look. I thought it was so badass. Jungle Boy is looking badass, coming out to the ring with Luchasaurus, who also looks badass because Luchasaurus kept the black attire look, which was just
Yes.
what a great move by Tony Khan, not to have him revert back completely, but still wear the black because the black is just sick. He, he's talking about, he calls Christian Cage a pussy. He says that Jungle Boy is what made him relevant. It's the most relevant he's been in his entire career. Then Jungle Boy hits this man with, he's like, it's kind of weird that you were making a big deal over like some money that you lost by getting eliminated in a battle royal. And then he's like, oh, that's you're broke, man, because your wife divorced your bitch ass.
Yep. You said you were broke because your wife divorced your bitch ass. That was great.
And then he's talking about he says he's like, you're small, like you're just like all these other bad guys, these villains in movies, wearing a turtleneck with your small prick. he's like, you know what, that's probably why your wife left you.
Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, everything that this guy said, it just hit so hard, like, and also shout out to when he's like hitting himself on the head, you could hear, like, if it sounded like he was hitting a rock.
Oh, he was hitting himself.
Yeah, and like, but like, you could hear it, like you heard the, you know what I mean? It was amazing. And then like, so this was Christian Cage's best, or not Christian Cage's, this is Jungle Boy's best performance
100%
as a babyface. And then in like what is absolutely like some of the realest heat, Juan saying Jungle Boy deprived Christian of his manhood tonight. In what was probably one of the realest heel heats ever that I openly booed loudly was Christian Cage interrupted Jungle Boy mid promo. Yeah. And he was like backstage. So it wasn't even like he came out to the ring. And I was like, this was like legitimate heel heat. Because he was like, people were really hooked on to what Jungle Boy was saying. And to have him cut him off, man, he was about to get deep too. Jungle Boy saying, we talk about his dad's passing, and then Christian says he's going to kill Jungle Boy and bury him with his dad. Basically, he's like, the next thing I put over you isn't going to be that jacket; it's going to be a body bag, and you're digging a hole for your dad. You're going to be laying in the dirt with him.
Oof.
And Christian's just like, you told me all your secrets, and now I'm going to prey on your weakness. And like, this was excellent. This was absolutely fucking incredible. And this for me is like it's an all-timer Dynamite tonight for me.
This is one of the greatest long-term storylines or long-term bookings that I've ever seen. This is 3 years in the making almost.
Yeah,
this is absolutely awesome.
It was incredible. It was excellent. This first hour of Dynamite it was amazing. Like I don't know what more you could do to top it.
Yeah.
But this was just excellent, and it was an awesome promo. I don't know if I let you talk enough about this. Do you have anything else you want to add? I kind of went off on a tangent tonight.
You hit the nail on the head, man. This was perfection. This was Jungle Boy's easily, in my opinion, Jungle Boy's best promo to date. And I think you said it as well, easily his best to date. So this was great. This whole feud is perfection. I hope we get Jungle Boy Christian at All Out. I hope we don't get given this for free anytime soon. I want this to definitely simmer in the pot, and I want this to be nice and tasty when it's time.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with you on that. And Juan saying in the chat, this storyline's gotten real personal. Not many storylines have that. And yeah, it's excellent storytelling.
Absolutely. All right. Next up was I'm sure your favorite promo, or your favorite segment of the night here. We had the Brandon Cutler backstage, catching the Bucks backstage, and they didn't really want much to do with anything with Brandon until he mentioned the trios tournament, and the Bucks were like, "Huh? Well, what are you talking about there?" And Brandon informed them of the tournament that will be at All Out for the trios titles, and he kind of wanted to join their team there. What did you think of this?
So, the coach is here. About to start watching here at 8 p.m. now, but wanted to stop by. We'll check out the full thing later.
What up, coach? Say hi to the future coach when he gets caught up.
Hey, what's up, future coach? Thanks, coach. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you tuning in for a few minutes. That sucks. He's on the West Coast. He watches Dynamite like when we start this podcast.
Yeah.
Basically, it sucks that he's not here on Wednesdays, but he'll be here on Friday. He's always here on Fridays.
Yeah.
So the Young Bucks, they're walking and like, we don't want to team with you, Brandon Cutler. We need to get a real partner for this 6-man. And they walk by, and Hangman is there. He's right there, and it's like today's Hangman's birthday, and they wish him happy birthday. And
happy birthday, Hangman.
Nick's birthday's tomorrow, and he wishes him a happy birthday. And I'm like, so for those that don't watch BT, one of the best long-term storytelling that's been going on in the lore of AEW has been going on BT, where when the Young Bucks turned heel with Kenny Omega and they betrayed Adam Page, there was this whole big thing where they texted Adam Page, or like Matt went to go text him, and then he ended up getting sent, but someone stole his phone, and I think Matt Hardy reveals that it was him that did it because he was trying to get Hangman to sign with them. It's a whole big thing. But so, like, for months now, Matt Jackson will like open his phone and go to text Hangman and be like, "Hey man, like I just want to apologize for everything that happened. Like I miss you. Nick misses you. Like let's get together and work this out." And then he deletes the fucking text. And then on the flip side, you see Adam Page clearly dealing with this when he's talking to the Dark Order, and it's this whole big storyline where like you just want them to make up. Like they're clearly very dear friends, and you just want to see it happen. And they keep missing each other. When the Young Bucks lost their tag titles, Adam Page was standing at the curtain watching their match, trying to support them from afar, and having this interaction. And you think that they're about to smooth it over, and then who shows the fuck up but the fucking Dark Order? And let me just tell you this, Jeff. I'm going to kind of give some breaking news here. We're going to be doing a live watch along of SummerSlam to do Wyndham Watch. For those that don't know, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. If Wyndham's not coming to AEW, I fucking hate the Dark Order because they stole a very important moment from me. And I'm sure we're going to get it. Like, we're going to get it. It's fine. Like, I know we're going to get it at some point. But the fact the Dark Order showed up, like I know it's like the what they're going for is for people to be like, oh no, and like that's how I feel. But like at the same time, I'm also like, I wish the Dark Order would just go away.
So when Evil Uno looked at them and was like, "Oh wait, did we interrupt something here?" I thought they were talking directly to you.
Yeah. And like they're like, "We don't have birthday cake, but we brought you broccoli." And I'm like, "You fucking made this joke last week for Evil Uno's birthday on BTE. come up with some new material, you stupid marks. Like, oh my god, like it's such a long burn, and like it's so torturing. It tortures me.
Dude, as
But
soon as I saw the Dark Order show up, I was like, oh my god. I was like, Rome is being tortured right now. I was like, I bet Rome hates them so bad.
but as a result, I love this segment. Like it's an
Yes.
excellent segment of storytelling, and it's just that slow burn where you want to see it. And so here's the thing, right? So we're gonna go over the preview for next week. But did you happen to see a certain segment that was announced for next week?
I did see most of them. I'm not sure which one you're speaking of, but
So we are going to see the return of the Undisputed Elite next week on Dynamite.
I saw that. Yes.
Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly will all be returning. The segment was listed as the Undisputed Elite are returning, and like I said, it was those three guys, but the Young Bucks as well. So if I'm gonna like fantasy book this and just kind of future book it, here's what's gonna happen, in my opinion. Maybe I'm gonna be right, maybe I'm gonna be wrong. That's the fun in it. So we're gonna see this segment, and Adam Cole is gonna talk about how the trios titles are coming home, and how he wants the trios titles. So he's gonna enter this tournament with Adam Cole will. And the Bucks are going to be like, all right, cool. Well, we're going to win too. We're going to be in this trios with you. And he's going to be like, actually, I'm choosing Fish and O'Reilly. Right. And so the Bucks are going to be like, oh, that's cool, man. Right. And so they're going to do that. And they're going to enter the tournament. And then Adam Page is going to team up with two members of the Dark Order. Doesn't matter who. Probably Silver and Reynolds. Right? And whoever they face in this tournament, right before the match, Silver and Reynolds are going to be taken out. Or maybe early in the night. They get taken out by whoever their opponents are in that first round of the tournament. Because I think the finals will be Cole and, it'll be the Elite versus the Elite. It'll be the Elite Civil War that I've been talking about for months. So it's going to... Silver and Reynolds are going to get knocked out. And they're going to be like, Hangman, you could find a partner and we'll take you on. Nobody's going to want to team with you. Like, nobody will, right? And so, like, it's going to be main event. It's going to be the main event of Dynamite. Whoever their opponents are, it's going to be a heel trio. I don't know. Pick a heel trio. I don't know who we're going to pick. It doesn't matter. The heel trio's out there. They're waiting. Hangman comes out. And then all of a sudden, the Young Bucks come out with him. And oh my God. I'm giving myself goosebumps.
So are we talking about the Hung Bucks here?
Oh, we were absolutely talking about the Hung Bucks. They were mentioned on Death Before Dishonor. That is what they were called in Ring of Honor when they were the 6-man tag champions. They were called the Hung Bucks. I don't know if Tony Khan will call them the Hung Bucks or if they're just going to go with the name The Elite.
They're asking them. They want to.
Probably. I'm okay either way. So that's me fantasy booking this. And I'm very excited for this. I've been waiting a long time. And then if I were to go further, again, could be totally wrong. Let's say that the finals come down to these two teams, the Undisputed Elite versus the regular Elite. I think Kenny Omega returns after that match.
Okay.
And I think he chooses to side with Adam Cole.
Oh, chooses to side with Adam Cole?
Actually, it probably makes more sense to side with Adam Page and the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't know. It could go any way there. They could, they could swerve that all over the place. You never know.
Yeah, but it would also make more sense in terms of new matchups to have Kenny feud with Adam Cole because he's already feuded with Adam Page. So yeah, I think Kenny returns there.
Yeah, because that makes sense because they're showing Adam Cole to kind of like be the leader of this Undisputed Elite. So that would make sense for Kenny to be feuding with him.
Well, so what I think they're doing, and I don't know when Roderick Strong's contract's up, but I think what they're going to ultimately do is Roderick Strong's going to join AEW, and it's going to be the Undisputed Era, but it's going to be the Undisputed Elite versus the regular Elite.
Yeah, I mean...
That's how I would book it. 4-on-4. That's your feud for next year.
Should be good. It's all I know. All right, next up, we had a Tony Nese and Mark Sterling versus Swerve Strickland in a 2-on-1 handicap match. And this was absolutely great. I thought this was fantastic. Mark Sterling wearing his crazy, I want to say one piece, but it looks like it's like 15 pieces, his gear. um, I just got to say, when Swerve came in and stood up on the ring apron and, you know, did his thing, that tag team belt just looks so good on him. So real glad that him and Keith Lee are champions right now. It just fits very well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't enjoy this segment as much as you did.
No, why not?
Well, number one, to not do this handicap match in a tornado tag style lessened it. I think that if there's anything AEW does wrong, it's their stubbornness with these tagging rules sometimes.
They definitely refuse to do any sort of tornado style matches.
Yeah, like they do it once in a while, but it is a rarity.
Yeah.
And I really wonder why. But so like I thought that the philosophy of this match made no sense because like so they requested this to be a handicap match and that Keith Lee couldn't come to ringside. The idea being because they wanted to team up with each other against Swerve, right? So the problem here is that like Mark Sterling wanted no parts of any action. He did not want to get tagged in. He didn't want to be a part. He didn't want to be in the ring. Like this storyline makes it seem like, and it not makes it seem like it's the truth. Like Mark Sterling and Tony Nese requested this match.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't know that if you like watch the match. You would assume that Swerve had some sort of thing here where he's like, you have to compete, Mark. You know, it's like it didn't make sense. It was fine and it was a fun match, sure, but in terms of like a booking perspective, it didn't really make much sense. Juan is asking, where has Wardlow been? Haven't seen him in 2 weeks or so. You know, AEW just kind of goes around with a rotation. You know, they try to give everyone somewhat equal TV time, and you know, maybe Wardlow needed off for a few weeks. I mean, Wardlow's been kind of going hard for like most of the year. I mean, well, except for the part where he had to sit at home for those.
I think he's doing some sort of open challenge for next week, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, he said that I think he was going to do that, but he didn't do it this week. But yeah, I mean, this was a fun match. But again, the philosophy and the psychology behind it just didn't really click, and they didn't work based off the match rules.
I agree. I think they just made it a tag match because, you know, Swerve's a tag champion. I think they kind of went that route, but no, they needed to make this a 2-on-1 in the ring match to make it believable as a handicap. You know, this was basically Swerve versus Tony Nese. And after he kicked Tony Nese's ass, he forced Mark Sterling in the ring and then pinned him. Like, it was that simple, you know?
Yeah. But what was cool was getting Josh Woods to attack, was to get him to attack Keith Lee backstage.
Yeah, and that was more so of what I actually enjoyed about this, is what this kind of led up to, you know what I mean? We just got to see Swerve kick the crap out of Tony Nese and then kick the crap out of Sterling. And then we see backstage that Keith Lee is laid out in the back room where he was watching the match, and they got Josh Woods standing over him with the belt. And this causes Swerve to be distracted, and Tony Nese attacks him after the bell. And he holds up the other half of the championship belts. So it looks like we're going to get Tony Nese and Josh Woods on a tag team versus Swerve and Keith Lee, huh?
Yeah, that's what you would think. So just to interject some Josh Woods news in here, Fightful Select is reporting they've learned more about the Ring of Honor AEW agreement and some of the talent that is working within it. It was established to Fightful tonight that not everyone who was on Death Before Dishonor is signed to they're either signed to a tiered or a full-time deal. There were several former Ring of Honor talent who appeared on the show and are still completely free agents. That being said, it appears that Josh Woods is currently working under AEW in a tiered deal, which basically means he's not full-time, but he's basically going to appear regularly, but he's not fully contracted yet. This is kind of how AEW does their contract status. You know, they have like the tiers where it's like you either get called in to do one-offs, you appear somewhat regularly, you're by appearance basis, or you're full-time. And so
yeah. And Juan in chat says when Keith Lee was knocked out backstage, he looked like he was sleeping. he legitimately looked like he was sleeping. He was like face down on the ground, and if there would have been snore sound effects, it would not have surprised me at all. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, right.
Who will get a louder pop with their return, Kenny or MJF? Whoever comes back second will get the bigger pop. That's all I can say.
I would say Kenny's going to get the bigger pop because I think MJF is going to do something fucking heinous when he returns.
True.
I think it's going to be something like, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think when MJF returns, it's going to be something fucking nuclear.
If he gets cheered when he comes back, I still think if they both get cheered, like let's say that's the scenario, that they're both going to get cheered when they return. I think whoever comes second is just going to get the louder. It's just going to feel louder for whatever reason. I don't know. But, yeah, that's a good question, Seth. Seth Rollins coming in with that question, actually. What's up, Seth? One of my favorite wrestlers over in the E there. One of the Ring of Honor, should be, if he's not already, Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I love Seth's character evolution over the years. This Joker character that he's got going on right now with his different suits and stuff. I do enjoy Seth Rollins.
I think modern day Seth Rollins has gotten a bit much for me.
It is a little bit much with the laughing, like when he kind of goes overboard on it, but he's one of their last entertaining guys.
I think him and Becky Lynch took a few steps too far in the wrong direction for me personally.
I can agree with that as well. I can agree. Turn it down like 2 notches, Seth. Tell Becky as well. Like 2 notches, turn it down.
Yeah, right. Juan saying Seth doesn't have a match for SummerSlam at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, they removed the match with Seth and Riddle. What's going on, Seth? What's up with that, man?
Yeah, it's a kayfabe injury that Riddle. Apparently, they want to save the match for the Clash in the Castle show that they're doing in the UK later next month.
Okay.
It's kind of unclear if he's going to be at the event or not because Seth did tweet out about him not that he did not have a match scheduled, and he apologized to the fans. But Triple H retweeted it earlier today saying, "I hear you." So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Seth says, "Can y'all get Triple H to give him an opponent for SummerSlam?" Oh, he retracted his message. It's too late. Too late, Seth. I saw it. I already said it. It's out in the ether now. It's out in the internet forever. Well, welcome anyway. Everybody who's in chat, if you guys haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button for us. It helps get us out there. And, if you enjoy the show, please hit that bell for the notifications whenever we go live. We go live every Wednesday after Dynamite and every Friday after Rampage. And it looks like we will be doing a watch along with SummerSlam this weekend, doing some Wyatt watch. We're going to, there's a decent chance that Wyatt shows up at SummerSlam. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. And hopefully you guys will join us for that one like we did with the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, if you don't want to watch WWE, we're going to do it for you. And you can just hang out with us and we'll watch it. We'll see what happens. And if you do watch it, you can watch along with us,
Yeah, and Juan, you hit the nail on the head there. That was the first thing I thought of when I saw that they pulled the match with Riddle. I said, oh man, what if Wyndham shows up to face Seth? Because that was his last, wasn't that his burial in Saudi, or was that with Goldberg? I think that was Goldberg, wasn't it?
No, it was Goldberg.
Yeah.
Look, all right, let's not put the cart in front of the horse, okay?
I got you. Let's not put the bow on the present yet.
Sure. Let's wait and see what happens. All right, we don't know what's gonna happen.
I know. All right. So next up was a House of Black promo on Miro and Darby, where essentially Brody King has challenged Darby to a coffin match. And dude, I didn't see this coming, and I want to see this really bad. I didn't know I wanted to see that. Seth's got to go. Seth. Becky's calling. All right, man.
Yeah, it's his turn to take care of the kid.
But dude, this caught me out of nowhere. A coffin match with Brody King. Especially since Brody kind of kicked Darby's ass last time they fought, I wasn't expecting another match, to be honest.
Well, no, I mean Brody King beat Darby, so it makes sense for Darby to kind of pick up a win back. I mean, yeah, they've been chasing Darby down, and both at Comic-Con and the signing at the Zoomies store. I think it was a Zoomies store. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good match. You kind of glossed over the Malachi Black part of the promo, which was phenomenal.
Oh, it was great.
Calling to Miro, and again, like I love this story, and I know Jeff, old man Jeff, you were kind of lost. Hopefully, you're getting a little bit more caught up as we go. But I love this promo where he's trying to give Miro the world, and is Miro going to buy into it? He says, in today's world, God and the devil are the same thing. Malachi Black saying, Miro, I will put you on the throne, and you can sit on the throne.
By the way, I have to say, I agreed with every single word Malachi Black said in that promo on like an actual spiritual basis.
But this was just such an excellent promo.
It was great.
And we learned today from Tony Khan that Malachi Black is one of those guys who's locked down for another 5 years. And I'm like, thank God.
And Juan says Coffin matches haven't been too great in his opinion as of late. Wait, did you see Darby's last 2 Coffin matches? They were amazing.
Yeah, Darby has amazing Coffin.
They were amazing.
He had Andrade, and then before that, Ethan Page. Those were excellent matches.
The Ethan Page one was insanity.
I'm expecting this match to happen at Quake on the Lake. I think it's going to be a really big show for that Wednesday, 2 weeks from now, Quake on the Lake, and I think Minneapolis it's going to be in.
Okay.
It's going to be a really good show.
But yeah, I thought this promo was great. I'm glad we're having I definitely want to see that Coffin match, and I don't know what's going to happen between Miro and Malachi there. Maybe a match, but we'll see.
Yeah, I wonder if Miro's going to say no, and this leads to a feud between the two of them.
I was going to make that joke, Juan. I was going to be like, Juan's having the memory loss. Do you remember those last 2 matches?
Yeah, I think Juan's remembering WWE.
You're talking about casket matches. The casket matches have been terrible, yes.
Yeah, they've been awful. They've always been bad. Coffin match is different. It's better.
Yeah. The only good casket match I think I've ever seen was with the Ultimate Warrior. That was my favorite, where he was like locked in there and they were like struggling to open it up. Dude, that traumatized me as a kid, bro. Literally traumatized me.
I think Undertaker had one really good one. I'm trying to remember who it was against.
It was the Warrior, or I think there was one with Mankind as well and Shawn Michaels, but that one with the Undertaker versus the Ultimate Warrior, it literally like, how people have like arachnophobia and like other phobias. I don't know what the one with a coffin is called, but I had that for years after watching that, dude. It was nuts.
Oh wow.
Because they portrayed it where they had to like rescue the Warrior out of the coffin. Like they had to cut it open, and when they opened the lid, he was like gasping for air and he was like freaking out. It traumatized me, bro. All right, next up was the women's AEW Women's Championship. Miyu Yamashita versus Thunder Rosa. I'm gonna go ahead and just straight up ask you, what did you think of this match?
I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was an awesome match. I thought it was wild. I thought it went back and forth pretty well. I think that something I'm learning about myself is that I really enjoy Japanese women's wrestling.
Okay. You like the Joshi style?
I think I am. I think that's what it is. Like, because I always really liked the Hikaru Shida style. And like, again, as a stupid American who like doesn't watch Japanese wrestling, like every time these Japanese, female wrestlers come over to AEW, I really enjoy their work.
So let me ask you this. Did you like the first half of this match, or did you like the second half better? So let me explain my line of questioning here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually did not enjoy the first half of the match until they got to the commercial, which was the Joshi portion, but it was a little slow and choreographed for me. But when they came back from that commercial, I was blown away after that. I thought they totally took it to another level. I loved the match after the commercial, but I mean, the first half, I just couldn't get into it yet. I think I just needed something to get into. And whatever it was when they came back from that commercial, they did it, and I was totally into this after that commercial.
Yeah, thinking back on it, I think I would agree with your analysis. I think that the second half was definitely better than the first half. I really liked when they kind of started brawling a little bit outside the ring. The
Yeah.
chops, like one of Thunder Rosa's chops was really, it was like right to her upper chest, and it
Yeah.
was like loud. Yeah, I think I would definitely say the second half was better than the first half. And I don't know if I want to proclaim that I have a love for Joshi wrestling yet, but I mean, every time I see these women from Japan come over, I really enjoy their work for the most
Yeah.
part.
I mean, I know we're both big Hikaru Shida fans, and I love her style as well. Athena, she wasn't allowed to do it for the past few years, but now she has that Joshi style as well. So we're about to see there's about to be an evolution in AEW's women's roster, and it's going to be awesome.
So Juan's asking, who do we see as Thunder Rosa's opponent at All Out? Sasha, possibly? I think Sasha.
Well, my whole thoughts on the Sasha thing are now out the window with Vince and Laurinaitis being gone. I know Sasha and Triple H are close, so I don't know if we're gonna see that. So I'm gonna try to say who would her opponent be who is currently in AEW. I'm seeing it's got to be Tony Storm. Unless they may not even have a match against each other. They may have a tag match together because of the whole Thunderstorm thing they're doing right now. But
so let me try to kind of get you back on the Sasha side of it,
okay,
if I may.
Yeah, please.
So, number one, Kevin Dunn and Bruce Pritchard are still part of WWE.
Yeah.
First and foremost. Secondly, Sasha could already be signed. I mean,
Okay, but we're supposed to be under the assumption that she can't do any wrestling signings until January 1st.
No, we were just saying, she was just saying that, bookers who reached out to her, she told them that. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's under some sort of non-compete.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
She's not taking wrestling bookings because she's possibly going to somewhere. So,
yeah.
Look, I mean, you have a point. Sasha could very well change her mind and turn around. I think for all that's happened, I think that regardless of it, and you read about the way that the WWE locker room kind of responded to Sasha doing what she did, which if we recall, a lot of it was kind of unprofessional.
True.
I could see Sasha just following through with whatever she's going to do regardless. So,
and still try to stick it to Vince, I still help them out. I would hope so. I do hope so.
Also, I do think that there's some appeal, right? So, even with Triple H taking over, when Bryan Danielson joined AEW, he put it best. He's like, there is a revolution going on here, and there's something special that I just had to be a part of.
Yep.
And I think that there is still appeal to that. I mean, Triple H taking over definitely will lead some talent to want to be at WWE, but that doesn't mean that no one from WWE is ever going to sign with AEW or isn't going to sign with AEW again. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Eventually somebody's going to jump to WWE. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah, it's going to happen. We now have the option. You know what I mean? There's no longer just WWE or the Indies. There is now, like it was in the back in the day. There's WCW and WWF. There's now a choice. So it's great. It's going to be fine. We're going to lose some. We're going to win some.
Yeah. But so I still think we see Sasha in AEW. I think that
I hope so.
We're too far down the path. I think that and again, change hasn't happened overnight. CM Punk did an interview at Comic-Con, which I shared in the Discord. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it or not. But he basically he warns people not to think that everything's going to change necessarily. He said that the people that are in charge were there the whole time. Just because they weren't the heads, Stephanie was always there when Vince was doing what Vince was doing. So was Triple H. So just because Vince is gone doesn't mean the culture is going to just turn around and fix itself. But we'll see. I mean, again, that's why at the beginning of the show I said cautious optimism. Don't
Yeah,
just,
absolutely.
you know.
But getting back on track here, Miyu Yamashita versus Thunder Rosa was a great match. If you guys weren't able to see it, I definitely recommend trying to see this match. It was fantastic. Eventually, Thunder Rosa hits her Fire Thunder driver for the 1-2-3, and Rosa gets the win. Excellent match. The girls showed some respect afterwards, gave each other a little hug, little handshake afterwards. This was great.
Yeah.
All right, and next up, it was time for the main event of I almost said of Rampage, of Dynamite. Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia with Chris Jericho on commentary. I think it was really funny with Chris Jericho on commentary. Taz said, Regal's not out here because he really hates you, Chris. That was really funny.
I hate him too.
Yeah, he's like, I hate him too. That was really good. Man, Danielson started this match off 100 miles an hour, just beating the snot out of Garcia. Garcia takes the fight to the outside of the ring and exposes the concrete, which will come into play later on. Danielson was bloodied pretty quick in this match. Wasn't expecting him to, get any color that quick, especially after a concussion,
Yeah, well, so Bryan Danielson was like, hey, you know what? It's my first night back. I'm just going to scare everyone shitless.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me.
he takes a really stiff looking back suplex off the top rope. If I recall, it was a back suplex. It might have been something else, but he takes a move off the top rope, and he instantly, he appears to be knocked out. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't do this. We're so close to getting back on track and getting everybody back, and just Bryan, you got to take care of yourself, man. You can't put yourself in these situations. You got to avoid getting these concussions. Whatever you're doing, you got to do better. But so I believe we were worked. I don't think the match would have gone on as long as it would have. I don't think that they would have let Danielson do half the spots he did after that spot. If he had gotten seriously hurt, they would have had Garcia just cover him and go for the pin.
Oh, they would have stopped it instantly. Tony Khan's very protective of Danielson. It would have just stopped.
Yeah, and Juan saying that the crowd was going crazy for Danielson. Yeah, they definitely were. Big T listening to us in the future will probably attest to that in the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was this was an excellent match. Like you said, Daniel Garcia exposes the concrete, which eventually leads to him DDTing Danielson on the concrete while he's already busted open. It's just, man, it was a really nasty match, and Danielson starts fighting back a little bit. He has a really nasty big back suplex off of the top rope later on. And these guys are just going back and forth. And during this match, I wrote in my notes that this is why Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler in terms of in the ring pro wrestler. This guy is out here just doing everything. This match had a little bit of everything, while also telling a extremely concerning story about Danielson's well-being. One saying, the thing I like with Danielson is that there are certain spots within his matches that are quick-paced. Yeah, he's he moves very quickly, very fast. But this was just, this match, Bryan Danielson knows exactly what he's doing. He hits you in all the right places. He's like, we're gonna have a really hype wrestling match. We're gonna have a really technical match, hard-hitting match. I'm gonna bleed. We're gonna do all these different things that lead into a great match, and I'm going to tell a story at the same time. And this story of, I'm going to say it. Here we go. You ready? I think it's the last time I'm saying it tonight. Elevation. Evolution. Daniel Garcia looked amazing tonight, and Danielson sold it. Garcia made it seem like he was beating the crap out of Danielson. He kind of re-injures Danielson. Obviously, again, I feel like it was a work. The fact that they went on as long as they did, they would have stopped the match if it was real. But it was It was awesome. And so basically we kind of get towards the end of the match, start winding down. We think Danielson's going to win the match. And he goes to run up the ropes, and an arm grabs him from underneath the apron and trips him, which allows Daniel Garcia to capitalize, puts him in a submission hold. Um, and Bryan Danielson passes out, and Daniel Garcia wins. The hand ends up being Jake Hager. And yeah, Daniel Garcia defeats Bryan Danielson, and
Wow.
wow, that is exactly the sentiment. It was just an incredible match that put over Daniel Garcia, made him a star, um, and it's just they elevated people tonight, and it was a seriously important night in terms of the progression of a lot of guys from the top of the show to the bottom of the show. Starting with Roosh, and then Dante Martin, and Ricky Starks, and Hook, and Jungle Boy. Even to a small extent, the Acclaimed. Daniel Garcia. They just throughout the entire night,
It
they
was great.
they elevated, and they had a guys evolve.
Now,
And it led to what was for me like an all-timer in Dynamite. I mean, this was an excellent show. This is pretty damn close to me. Like you talk about sometimes like rating the Dynamites. Honestly, if I could replace that handicap match with something a little bit more enjoyable, I would say this is a perfect show. This is a 5-star show.
wow, nice. Quick question for you. Did you notice that Bryce Remsburg seemed to be mic'd up for that final match? Like, you were able to clearly hear everything Bryce Remsburg said to them. I thought that was a
No,
very interesting addition to the match.
I didn't necessarily notice it. No.
Oh, I noticed it for sure. Like, his voice was coming through my TV like he was one of the announcers. It was wild. I thought it was cool too. It was almost as if he was mic'd up like in an NFL game.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting touch.
Yeah.
Juan saying the progression of smaller talent sort of reminds him of the SmackDown 6. I understand that vibe. It definitely gives that vibe of this show pushed a lot of the younger talent. And again, man, like AEW is just. I feel like tonight Tony Khan. I think he sat around all weekend and he spent a lot of time on Twitter. If you listen to his appearance on Busted Open today, he reminded us that he does go on Twitter and he does go on Reddit, absolutely, and he remembers these things and he sees these things. And I just felt like this was a Tony Khan saying, like, he pulled out all the stops, and this is where, like, if you hate, like, this is where I don't understand, like, the big AEW hate comes from these WWE fans, because they don't even understand that AEW exists. They makes their show so much better,
Yeah.
and vice versa. Like, Hunter running WWE is going to put the fire under AEW. Like, AEW has, like, you look at like the run that they went on in 2021, like that July to November of AEW last year was so strong and so on point every single week. Like you could tell Tony Khan had a fire under him in that period, because it was back on the road and he felt so like he had to deliver. And like, it's not that he rests on his laurels, but eventually with all peaks you need to have valleys, and there needs to be some cool down time. You can't just always be at 100%. That's crash TV, and that's not a way to succeed. But like tonight was definitely booked in a way where, like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe this was always the plan, but it definitely felt like a night where Tony Khan all weekend, from the moment Vince stepped down on, what was it, Thursday or Friday? On Friday, from the moment Vince stepped down on Friday to the Triple H news on Monday, I feel like Tony Khan had to sit there for a week listening to AEW is dead. All
Yeah.
the talent are gonna leave AEW. Like, WWE is automatically all of a sudden perfect, and there's nothing wrong with it, and everything is saved. And like, I think Tony Khan was like, "Oh yeah, okay, let me go write this show. Let me go
Yeah.
take care of this shit."
And he put this show out on without like 4 of his top guys even on the show, so.
Yeah, right. Like, we still don't have Punk back. We still don't have Omega back. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what more do you want? Like this was a perfect Dynamite except for one match that was fine.
Yeah, and I thought it was better than fine, so I thought it was a great Dynamite as well. What do we got going on for this week's Rampage? What's Big T, what did he witness tonight?
What is he currently watching?
Oh, it's over now. It's 11:30. He's on his way out of there now.
They run a little late because they're not. They think
that's
their
right.
time.
Yeah. But
he's probably watching the main event right now.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So let's see here. This Friday on Dynamite, it's Fight for the Fallen Night 2. Matt Sydal versus Lee Moriarty, teacher versus student. We have Ethan Page versus Leon Ruffin.
Who?
The guy that teams with your boys, the Bear Country.
Oh, that's right.
Anna Jay versus Ruby Soho.
I'm in for that one. Okay.
The music video from The Acclaimed will drop. And a trios match, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt versus Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends.
Hold on, let me go back to what you said a second ago. The music video, so that's going to be on Rampage? It's not going to be released on YouTube?
I'm sure it'll go on YouTube on Friday, but it's going to be revealed during Rampage.
Okay.
Now, that wasn't shown at the end of the show, but that was something that was said by Caster during his promo.
I thought they were going to make a music video, release it on the YouTube, and then have a match on Friday. Okay. I was a little off.
Jeff, you don't have to sound so old. You don't have to put the in front of YouTube.
What?
You said the YouTube. I feel like that's such an old person thing to say.
Yeah.
Put it on the Instagram.
On the YouTubes.
Well, I'm saying it's a diss track. That it is.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Moving forward, Dynamite. It's gonna be a good show next week. We have the Undisputed Elite will be back. The return of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and the Young Bucks will be present. That's gonna be a big angle. We're going to get Thunderstorm versus Britt Baker, DMD, and Jamie Hayter. Matt Hardy will face Christian Cage. No, that's the following week. And then also it was announced by Tony Khan once again, which is very weird. He's been doing this a little bit more. More Dynamite matches will be announced on Rampage this Friday, which I actually like that because I think it's them trying to get more people to watch the show, which is good. It is confirmed 2 weeks from tonight, on August 10th, Quake at the Lake, or Quake on the Lake. Jon Moxley will defend his interim world championship against Chris Jericho. And then we got some breaking news for the Canadian AEW fans. AEW is making its debut outside of the U.S. in Canada Wednesday, October 12th and Thursday, October 13th, Dynamite and Rampage at the Coca-Cola Coliseum in Toronto, Canada.
Yes, I was actually super stoked to see that. I've been wanting AEW to make their first trip over across the border to Canada for a long time now. And I love how Chris Jericho mentioned this on the show, and he was like, "I'm a hero over there." He's like, "They're gonna worship me when we go over there. It's gonna be great."
Yeah, definitely. So that's what we have coming up. We're gonna have more matches announced on Friday. But it should be a good Rampage. I mean, we're gonna get a few really good matches there. Juan saying, do you guys think the Dynamite Canada show could potentially be a big stadium show? Well, it's already confirmed to be at a certain venue.
Yeah, what's the venue that it's at?
It's the Coca-Cola Coliseum. I'm gonna look it up. Hold on,
so
let's see real quick.
I would assume that they're gonna do a normal size show first to see what the demand is like, and if they sell out, a few shows in Canada over the next few months/years, they may do a pay-per-view there and put it in a stadium show. So the potential is definitely there.
It's not a stadium show.
No.
It's the home of the Toronto Marlies. It looks like a hockey stadium.
Okay, so, a hockey stadium is the equivalent of the Wells Fargo Center. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, except it doesn't seem like it has an upper level.
Oh, wait a second. You said the Toronto what?
Marlies.
Okay, so that's a low-level hockey. That's not the Maple Leafs then.
I'm kind of I'm kind of like tempted. It's gonna look bad on the stream, but here, this is the arena, Jeff.
Okay. I mean, that's a minor league hockey stadium, so it's not quite as big as the Wells Fargo. All right.
It's the first show out of the country,
Yeah.
first show in Toronto.
That'll be great.
It seems like let's see who's performing at the Coca-Cola Coliseum so we can get a.
I'm gonna say it right now. I guarantee sells out. I'm calling it now.
Probably. Jack Harlow's playing there. I don't know who Jack Harlow is. Jack Harlow important? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's a decent sized arena. But I'm calling it now, Juan. It's selling out, guaranteed.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's decently sized. It's around the size of the Isengast that Ring of Honor ran a show out of.
Cool.
Very, very similar looking size, at least in my opinion, it looks similar. But yeah, so that's what we got going on. We are now about 6 weeks until All Out, and we're gonna start seeing. I feel like we're gonna start seeing TV really pick up in the coming weeks. Tonight was an excellent episode. Juan says Jack Harlow has a KFC meal. Okay, so he's big time then. That's big time. I don't know anyone else who has a KFC meal named after them, so that's got to be big.
Yeah, me neither. We do want to let you guys know, if you didn't pick it up throughout the night here, we are going to do a watch along for SummerSlam. I'm sorry. We're going to, be on Wyndham Watch, hoping that he doesn't show up, but just in case he does, we want to kind of be there.
Yeah.
You guys are all welcome to watch with us.
Yeah. Also, I think that there is an argument to be made that maybe like. I mean, I guess we're going to get into the conversation now. And Juan bringing it up just as I'm about to talk about it.
I figured, yep.
So, Jeff, they announced today WrestleMania 40, right? It's going to be here in Philadelphia at Lincoln Financial Field, home of my Philadelphia Eagles. Go Birds. I guess they're yours too. I mean,
yeah,
you're from Vegas.
I'm a Birds fan.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you are. Our Philadelphia Eagles. And so WrestleMania 40, 2 years away. And let me tell you, Jeff, I saw this news today, and I was like, this may be the most well-timed return to Philadelphia for WrestleMania of all time. And so I'm going to judge this metric, like my return to WWE. It's been a thought on my mind, and we've talked about it a little bit, about whether I want to go back to that, to watching WWE or not. And it's been on my mind a lot since Friday, since Vince stepped down, and even more so when Triple H kind of took back over. So I kind of wanted to kind of have a conversation about it. I think WrestleMania 40 being 2 years away, but being in Philadelphia is perfect because by then I feel like very good chance that I'm going to know whether I'm going to want to watch WWE moving forward or not. I think that WrestleMania 40 being 2 years away is like the perfect, like, okay, if I'm back on board by then, we'll go to WrestleMania and we'll have a good time. But like, if I can't get back on board by then I'm just too far gone.
No, yeah, I'm with you. We got 2 years to figure out whether we're buying tickets to this, is the way I'm looking at it. So, yeah, I'm actually very excited for the potential that I want to go. If you asked me right now, like if this was in 2 weeks and tickets were going on sale tomorrow, no, I'm probably not super into going, but let's give it 2 years and let's see what the main event is going to look like. Let's see what the whole company looks like and, things like that. And I actually have a good feeling about it. I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said this might be the most perfectly timed return to Philly. Because if they're in a good place, even a decent place, I might actually want to go.
Yeah, and again, I would describe myself as someone who is extremely torn. And there's a lot of internal conflict because part of me wonders, am I too far gone? Right? Talked to Big T earlier during the weekend. He kind of feels the same way. But like, is there a place for me in that fan base? And I just don't know. Juan said, if you had to throw a prediction, what would the main event be? it's 2 years out. Like, I don't even know. Like,
I'll throw one. I'm looking at Austin Theory versus like a Drew McIntyre for one night.
no.
Theory's gonna be in that title picture in 2 years. He's got to be.
No, I think Monday Night Raw was a clear indication that Vince is gone and Austin Theory is no longer daddy's boy. And to quote Roman Reigns, I'm sick to my stomach that I'm quoting Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
But that first hour of that show was like him getting the shit kicked out of him by a bunch of people and like the guy just getting torn down.
Yeah, but he's got the money in the bank. They always do that to those guys.
I guess so, but he could just as easily not succeed. I don't know. I think that that's way too premature of a prediction to assume Theory. If I had to guess, I would guess something along the lines of like Cody versus someone else.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Cody. I'm hoping we get something like, let's say Cody versus Seth would be fine. Well, why did I say it? We've already had that like 25 times. That's their only other top guy. Jesus, I can't even think of something. Jesus.
Roman Reigns is not my tribal chief. Although I didn't mention it, but I really loved, I don't know if you picked up on it, but Angelo Parker tonight was like, AEW Galaxy, appreciate us. And it was the same thing as like, acknowledge us.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I love when he does that.
No, Roman Reigns is part of the story of how Rome came to hate WWE. So I definitely do not acknowledge anything about Roman Reigns.
Yeah. All I could say is I hope Tommaso Ciampa is somewhere in the top tier of WWE when we get to that 2 years from now.
I feel like he would be.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. It's been a very conflicting weekend. I don't know where exactly I stand. There are reasons why I would like to go back. I mean, obviously, I would love to not, guys that I miss watching, like Kevin Owens, and if Bray does go there, like, obviously there are people like that I want to see. But on the flip side, the other side of it, I don't have any interest in WWE continuing to hire athletes to become wrestlers. I have no interest in that. I also have no interest in Logan Paul or any of that side of culture that WWE grabs and brings in. I have no interest in the cult. Like, we've talked about that fan base over there. I think the people that are left that just watch WWE and literally nothing else are literally the worst kind of fans. They are toxic and they are hateful, and I have no desire to even be associated with them in the smallest degree. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, Juan, I'm agreeing with you there. There's a lot of guys that I forgot about there. Gable Steveson, Gunther, Braun Breaker. Yeah, man, those are going to be some of their big time guys in 2 years. So, dude, Gunther versus Gable Steveson, Gunther versus Braun Breaker. Those are definitely going to happen over the next couple years.
Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm not closed off to the thought of returning. It's just I'm very torn. I'm still very torn. Sitting here Wednesday night. I mean, it's like I said over on the Friday stream. AEW is going to be the priority at all points.
Yeah.
Like, at no point is AEW not going to be my priority at this point. It feels like the perfect wrestling show tailored to what I look for in wrestling. But I mean, I don't know. In terms of returning, Kevin Dunn is still there. Bruce Pritchard's still there. We need to see a lot of serious changes still be made, but I mean, I don't know. I think again, WrestleMania 40 being 2 years away is a really good kind of time frame to kind of work this out. But I feel like it was worth having a conversation over.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's all I had for tonight. You got anything else?
No, nothing really. Just it was an excellent Dynamite. I'm looking forward to Rampage for everyone that, in case you didn't know. All Out is, 5 weeks away. As of right now, I don't believe that anyone's really worthy of facing me for this Broken Predictions Championship.
Hey, I just want to point out, man, you got to understand, even though you've technically kept hold of your belt, you've lost 2 matches in a row, bro.
First of all, the Forrest match was stricken from the records because he was a sore winner. It was an exhibition match, and he did beat me, but the way he reacted it left me disgusted and appalled. Secondly, if I recall, Big T and I teamed up on you, and you lost the match.
I do understand all that, but you gotta start getting up on your game, bro.
Jeff, look. Juan, I'm gonna get to your question in a second, but I have to deal with business first. Jeff, I'm disappointed in you. I thought that you were going to be different than Forrest. I thought that you were going to be able to enjoy the spirit of competition, take the loss, and just say we had fun and move on. But instead, you're sitting here in the King's Court telling me that I'm in the wrong? Like, bro, you lost, and now you're being a sore loser.
I'm trying to help you by letting you know that even though you've got that belt on your shoulder, you might be getting a little complacent. You might be getting a little, I guess complacent is the word I'm looking for, because, when it comes down to it, your last two matches, you've come up short. So I was trying to help you by giving you the idea of, hey, you might need to start hitting the mats and, brushing up a little bit.
What? Look, Jeff, first of all, I appreciate the concern, but there's, to this date, only been me on top.
This is true.
I am the longest reigning, defending, Broken Predictions champion in the history of the show. I'm also the youngest. I'm also the most successful. Like, the podcast has seen immeasurable growth under my watch. And that's why I do this. I do it for the fans. I do it because this podcast, it needs me. It needs a hero like me. The King's Court graphic kind of blocked the belt, so I'm going to hold it up a little bit higher for everybody. So this is the crown jewel of the King's Court. This is the Broken Predictions Championship. And every week, the King's Court, we meet here on the Broken Tables podcast. Joe, look, man. The problem is that if it works, it works. And at the end of the day, I'm the champion who has not lost a single title defense to date. So if someone wants me to take off the glasses, first of all, I wear a different hat like every week, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro. It's always a different hat. I don't know where this different hat thing is coming from. I always wear different hats. But I'll definitely change up my style once it stops working. Until then, I'm still the reigning, defending Broken Predictions champion. But anyways, Jeff, I think you're being a huge disappointment to me. I just thought you'd be better than this. I didn't think I would have to kind of lump you. It's always back. It's not always backwards. I literally had the show where I was wearing my cool Venusaur hat, which you can get at PokemonCenter.com.
It is actually pretty badass.
I have one for each starter, for the Gen 1 starters. I need a shirtless man yelling. You don't want to see that yet. I don't think. Unless there's like real demand for it. Like I don't know if you guys want to see that. I'm kind of a fat ass. I don't think people want to see that. Unless that's what you guys want to see. You let me know. If I am the people's champion. If there's demand for me to defend my title shirtless, I'll fucking do it.
If Punk shows up out of nowhere and defends his championship against Mox and wins, we might actually see that. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark out. Love you, Joe. Anyways, Jeff. Juan, don't worry. I'm gonna get to your question. I'm sorry. Jeff is just taking a lot out of me, but I will answer your question absolutely. Jeff, I'll close with this because I don't want to take up much of Juan's time. You are a disappointment to me. I am the champion, and I'm gonna say what goes. And as of right now, Jeff, you have 0 wins against me. So I am officially, as the champion, banning you from competing it all out. You're gonna have to pick up some wins. And before you say I can't do that, I'm just the champion, you should have read the contract.
I'm a little confused at how I can be a disappointment. You needed help from the King's Court to defeat me. Isn't that slightly impressive?
No. No, it's not impressive. Exactly. Juan's saying I could be the model for the Broken Tables podcast website. I'd be down for that. Anyways. What? Go ahead.
I'm thinking I might actually like make a cartoon logo of you with the glasses and the mic. That would actually be pretty cool.
So I'll say this, right? I'll close on this before I get to Juan's question about high school. Jeff, you suck. You're a loser, and you're goddamn senile. If you think that anybody is capable of defeating me in a predictions match, while I appreciated Big T's help, I didn't need him, but I wanted to make sure Big T and the viewers, our beautiful viewers, felt involved, because that's the kind of champion I am. I'm going to make sure that I have everyone, involved. I want everyone to have a good time, and I think that's, giving Big T that spot. Big T's been very loyal to the King's Court, and I think he deserved that spotlight to be part of the match, to make it a three-way dance.
Yeah.
And you almost won.
I did.
But you lost. So I'm disappointed in you, because I want you to... A Rome action figure would be sick. So did Jeff one, too.
Yo,
Jeff
Big T!
Big T's here!
What up, man?
See, Big T knew I was talking about him, and he jumped in. Big T, explain to Jeff that you are an outstanding person and member of the King's Court, and that you very easily yourself could beat Jeffrey in a predictions match if needed.
New gimmick, Minotaurs on a boat.
I don't know about that. That sounds like a Jeffrey gimmick right there.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, he said Jeff's new gimmick. Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's perfect then. I thought you were just saying our new gimmick. No. Jeff, Minotaur on a boat. That sounds very 1993. That sounds very up Jeff's alley. Anyways, Jeff, you will not be defending, or you will not be challenging for the Broken Predictions Championship at All Out. Your win-loss record is abysmal. Honestly, it's fucking embarrassing. I wasn't going to point it out, but since you wanted to talk about your record, you haven't won a goddamn thing since the podcast started.
I mean, that could be said about all of us besides you, though, because,
Exactly, besides me. Yeah, right, yeah, absolutely. Everyone. That's why I'm saying Big T's at McDonald's. Great. Well, you just got from the show, so makes sense.
I
Jeff,
stop there every time after a show, Big T.
Jeff, the thing you understand is you hit the nail on the head, and you don't even realize it. And that's what's so funny to me about you. You literally just said it yourself. Nobody has seen the kind of success that I've seen in the Broken Tables podcast with this.
I know, and I was just trying to point out in a friendly way that technically your last couple matches haven't gone so well, and maybe you need to step it up a little bit, That's all I was saying.
What I do in exhibition matches to help my friends feel good. Like, if you want me to stop doing charity, I'll stop doing charity. Like, in these exhibition matches, I get a little loosey-goosey with it, Maybe I don't give it 100%. I'm having fun, I want to make you guys feel like you have a chance. So I'm just kind of like, whatever, man, sure, the Righteous are going to beat Dalton Castle and the boys, I'm having a good time, Jeff.
True.
And that's what you don't understand is, like, if I wanted to, I could put your ass in the ground. I could beat you by double-digit points if I wanted to.
Juan's got a good idea. Rome versus Purple for the championship.
Honestly, that might be the way we go, but I mean, she hasn't racked up any wins. Exactly, Juan. Like, I'm doing make-a-wishes out here. I'm trying to help the people. I'm trying to, shake hands, kiss babies, you name it. I'm doing it. Joe, constructive criticism is appreciated here, but we can't escape the fact that in meaningful matches where I try, I'm undefeated. I won the championship at the inaugural pay-per-view show earlier this year in February, Revolution it was. I defended successfully since then. So, I'm going on a historic run here that's only just starting. Big T, we're probably not going to be live when you get home. We actually just wrapped everything up. I have to answer a question for Juan, and then we're going to be wrapping up. But please come, please listen back to us, Big T, just so you know, we're going to be doing a SummerSlam watch-along. And you know what, Jeff? I have an idea. For you. You want to rack up the wins. You want to be Mr. Tough Guy. I'm going to book a match. Are you ready?
Maybe.
Obviously, Big T has to accept, but I'm going to book a match between you and Big T. SummerSlam prediction show.
Ooh, so me versus Big T for SummerSlam prediction show?
Yep. So basically, the way it's going to work is Friday night. After the Rampage wrap up, I will run through the SummerSlam card, and you two will face off. And then Saturday night, we will keep track.
Now,
the way I see it, Jeff, is
I think you already said it. Big T would have to agree to this because I think he does not indulge in the E. But
so I would go as far as to say that I think Big T could beat you without even knowing anything about the product.
Ouch.
Well, Jeff, here's how I'm going to look at it, right? You haven't beaten anybody. So I'm going to book you in a match against one of the King's Court. And maybe, just maybe, if you could beat Big T, we'll see what happens. And this will not be an exhibition. This will be for the rankings. So, Jeff, currently right now, your win-loss record sucks. And you're not going to be doing... You're not facing me at all out. However, we can get you started on the path to Full Gear maybe in November. So, do better. We will see if Big T accepts. Big T, please let us know if you accept this challenge. If not, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be booked for the show. We'll see what happens, but until then, there is nobody who has impressed me enough to challenge me for the Broken Predictions Championship at All Out. So, I'm thinking if I don't have anything, lined up by then, maybe we'll make All Out all about a celebration of me. I think that's pretty in line. I think that we could definitely make something like that work.
He's right though, Juan. I have 0 wins on my record. I gotta do something about that. Zero. I don't even like the guy. I literally fired the guy off the show. But I'm just saying that I'm going to say that I don't like him, but Forrest. Big T's going to give you the answer in Discord. Oh shit! Oh, look at this. Okay.
It sounds like if you're not in our Discord, you should probably get in our Discord. Could someone put that in the chat real quick, please? Anyways, to finish my point, Forrest has more wins on the Broken Tables podcast than you do, Jeff. And to be honest, that's fucking embarrassing.
So he has. Does he have one win? The one win that was the exhibition match against you? Is that what you're calling it?
And even though it's not in the rankings, it still is worth mentioning to, Big T says, Jeff, I respect you. I'm driving. But so anyways, yeah, Jeff, do better. We'll see what happens. I need to find Juan's question because it was from a while ago, so give me a second.
Oh, we already answered it. He said,
No, he asked a question about high school. We didn't even talk about that.
I was way up there then. Oh, he said he's starting his senior year of high school next Wednesday. Excited and not excited about it. How was your guys' senior year of high school like? So my senior year was actually quick and awesome because I had already gotten so many credits from my previous years that I only had a half of a day. And for the rest of my half a day, I could have gone home, but I just went and hung out in the art room with the ceramics teacher and dicked around for a half a day. It was awesome. I love my senior year.
Yeah, so I would say my senior year was also pretty awesome. If I were to give you some advice, I would say try to enjoy your senior year as much as you can. It's usually a pretty fun year of high school. I don't know what your plans are in the future, but I feel like usually the junior year is always kind of the hardest one because you're working towards college and stuff like that. Juan saying, do we have any friends that were big pro wrestling fans? I knew a few guys, but I mean, Forrest was one of them, actually.
Yeah,
Forrest
I knew
and I
a
went
few.
to high school together. Because I've known Forrest for a long time, and that's why it's...
You gotta
Sorry,
remember, we kind of both grew up in an era where The Rock and Stone Cold were a thing. And it didn't even matter if you were a wrestling fan. Like, I knew people that had Rock shirts and they didn't even know what wrestling was. Like, so, you know, there was lots of people wearing wrestling shirts everywhere, and yeah.
Well, so I would say, because you are older than me, that's not meant as a dig. I grew up in a little bit of a later period where it was kind of like a... You know, I felt like while the Attitude Era had happened, you know, I was in high school in the late 2000s. By then, most people had moved on from the craze because WWE was starting to dip at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I knew a few guys that we were kind of friends in pro wrestling. But yeah, if I were to give you advice for your senior year, man, have as much fun as you can, do enough to graduate.
Yeah.
If you already have your maintain your status quo, like whatever that needs to be. Like, again, I don't know what your plans are. If you're trying to go to college or if you're like whatever you're doing, maintain your status quo so that way you can at least do that. But other than that, have a good time. You know, like senioritis is a thing. It's gonna hit you in like January, February.
Oh, yeah.
Like once you get back from Christmas break, it's downhill from there, and you're just you're gonna struggle. Again, do enough to do what you need to do. That would be the way I would put it. You know, enjoy those last few months of high school.
Yeah. And remember,
high school,
man, it's going to be the last time you see a lot of those people. So if there's anybody that you know, really want to continue being friends with after high school, you need to make like a conscious effort to do that, because there was a lot of people that when we graduated, man, they were just gone. And I know there's Facebook and all that crap, but
yeah, that's kind of the crazy thing too, and like that's some great advice, Jeff, where it's like, yeah, Juan saying you get laughed at for liking pro wrestling nowadays. No, you get laughed at for liking sports entertainment nowadays. Difference. Big T, so what is Rome looking to do? Oh, Big T, if you missed it, I am proposing that you and Jeff face off in a Broken Predictions match, a ranking match, if you would. It will be a SummerSlam prediction show where you guys would give your predictions tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on the Friday night stream after Rampage.
yeah,
This is obviously it's not a title match because I will not be involved. But basically, Big T, I'm selecting you to represent the King's Court and defeat Jeffrey, so we can keep Jeffrey winless in Broken Predictions competition.
yes, sir.
So feel free to accept or decline if you want. I mean, I understand that facing Jeff might not seem like it's worth the time, so I totally understand. But let us know. But yeah, enjoy high school. That would be what I would say. Do what you gotta do, but try to have as good of a time. And Jeff gave some great advice. Try to, you know, you're gonna have to make an effort to keep in touch with people. Like, it was really weird. So like, when I graduated high school in 2011. And King's Court looking like the NWO. Hey man, look, for life. When I graduated high school, it was actually really funny because I actually didn't talk to anybody outside of high school for about a year, and that includes Forrest. Like, even my good friends. Like, I literally like shit happened with life and stuff where like I kind of got caught up, and like when you stop seeing these people at high school every day, you kind of just forget to like keep in touch.
Yeah.
So as a young adult, you kind of like learn to acclimate to adult life, where you're like, oh, if I want to see Forrest, I need to like text him and be like, hey Forrest, what are you doing? I mean, obviously the loser doesn't answer my calls now. Kind of pathetic, really. Again, like I don't like I don't know if I should feel proud or not that I'm the champion, because it's like the competition below me is just not. It's not it. But that's why I want to get Big T involved and other people involved. Juan asking Rome, how did I meet Jeff? Well, to kind of our wives.
Yeah, we met through our wives. So
so our wives worked together at a previous job.
Yes.
And they just stayed in touch. And wives do this weird thing where they're like, oh, like this person has the same interests as you should be friends with them. And like it doesn't really always work. Like it's kind of funny to see wives do it. And for those that are married, maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's like your wives almost try to like set up play dates almost.
Yeah,
and it doesn't really work. That's the way I would put it. Like they set up play dates. You're like Jeff isn't the first person that was attempted. Where it'd be like, Rome, you love video games. This person also loves video games. And then we get into like a setting together where it's like we're supposed to talk. And I've tried, but like sometimes people just don't want to talk. They don't want to make friends, and that's fine. So it's like it doesn't work out. But Jeff was kind of like, I liked wrestling, and Jeff liked WWE, and I was like, hey Jeff, you should check out good wrestling. And he was like, yeah, maybe I will.
No, I think I said I already was. I had already been watching from the beginning with the AEW.
It was early AEW, so I would always get really excited when someone else said they watched AEW, because AEW was still very young in its inception. So like I literally like I only knew like 2 other people in my life that watched AEW. So I was like very excited when I learned that Jeff watched AEW as well. So we kind of talked about that, and then like he likes Pokemon, I like Pokemon, so we just kind of talked about that. And then it was funny because I think Big T mentioned in the Discord like who started the channel. I was like, I didn't answer it, but like, well, so Jeff had the idea. It was funny because Jeff you had the idea to do a podcast, and you tweeted it, and I was like, absolutely, because I was also thinking of doing a podcast.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I got in as pretty much, we got this together as early as we pretty much could.
It was funny how it all fell together, with the wives being like, let's go out for lunch one day. You guys will totally like each other. And
yeah, and I think what's interesting about our dynamic is that we are very different people who do not have, I would not say that like we're like tailor-made to be friends.
No,
but we have a chemistry that I think works, and we both have a really strong love for pro wrestling, and I think those two things come together to make a pretty good friendship.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it comes to make a good show. I mean, I just need to see you do better in the broken predictions.
Yeah, I can't deny my big goose egg there. So
yeah, hopefully Big T accepts the challenge, and you can have an opportunity to.
It looks like he has accepted there. Says it sounds fun, but he has no idea what the card is. And I actually like it that way. I think it would be hilarious if I lost and he had no idea who's wrestling.
I mean, unless you watch the Fed, you should also have no idea what's going on.
Technically, I don't think I know many of the matches, actually. The only one I think I know is Brock and Roman, if that's even still happening.
Juan saying he checked out some of Jeff's old YouTube videos. Yeah, basically Jeff converted his YouTube channel to this channel, which it was the easiest thing to do. It made
you
the
shouldn't
most
be
sense.
able to see them. I think I have them all hidden.
Apparently not. Big T, appreciate that. Yeah, we love working together. Juan saying we're the JR and the Jerry, the King Lawler duo. Yeah, I said in the Discord.
Maybe I did leave a few of them up there.
I said on the Discord, dibs on JR, but
oh, I'm perfectly fine being Jerry. I love Jerry Lawler.
That works. But yeah, no, this is awesome, and Big T, if you accept the challenge, which it seems like you did, basically how it's gonna go: be here for tomorrow's stream, or not tomorrow. Jesus Christ,
Rampage.
My time is all out of whack. Be here for Friday's stream, where we do the Rampage recap and the preview for next week. What's going to happen is I will be officiating the match. It'll be nice for once, I'm constantly, being the champion. It'll be nice to finally, sit one out. I'll run through the SummerSlam card, and we will take your guys' picks. And yeah, and we'll see what happens when we do our watch along on Saturday. You'll tune back in, and we'll start the rankings, the official Broken Predictions rankings. I need to get some good challengers here. You know, I think this would be a really great way to get viewers involved, and maybe get some...
I agree. Actually, I've had that idea for a while, and I was trying to figure out a way to do it, but I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like fun. We're gonna have a great weekend of action for the most part, hopefully.
All right. Well, I think that should do it for us for tonight. You want to go ahead and close us out?
Yeah, definitely. And I did enjoy doing these questions. You know, we have to do some more life questions again in the future. But that was
absolutely.
That was a very enjoyable segment.
Definitely want to do that as an ending to the pod from now on. Do taking questions from everybody. I like it a lot.
Juan saying he's up to be a challenger. Wait a second. Juan, would you like to be a part of a three-way dance between Big T and Jeff for SummerSlam? I'm feeling this.
Are my chances going down even lower now? Jeez, now it's a 33% chance of winning.
Jeff, you may have been the general manager, but let's be honest, man. I'm the booker. Like, I'm the champion. I'm the booker. I do all the research for the show. You make some great merch. Absolutely. I said on Discord earlier today, you do some things better than me, and I do some things better than you. Things that I do better than you. Being the champion, being the booker. Oh, Juan is in. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It is official. We will have a three-way dance. Big T accepts as well. The King's Court will be represented by Big T. Juan will be there. Jeffrey Vegas will be there of the High Rollers. It's going to be a three-way dance.
I got no shot.
I'm very excited for this. This is going to be great. This is going to be a really fun weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I love it.
Anyways, so in that case, Juan, you also have to make sure you're here on Friday. We'll do predictions afterwards. But until then, this has been episode 59 of the Broken Tables podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like and subscribe, or a follow, depending on where you find us. Thank you to everyone in chat for checking us out. Hit that like button and subscribe if you already aren't. If you're not catching us live, you're catching us in the future. Like, I'm sure Big T will go back and listen to us. Thanks to everyone on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. You can follow us on Twitter at Broken Table Show. You can follow me on Twitter at XGamerForLifeX. It's elite. I'm sorry, I made it when I was 2006. I was 13. It is what it is. Please follow me as well. I love having conversations with you guys. You can also like us on Facebook and Instagram at the Broken Tables Podcast. We go live on YouTube following every single AEW Dynamite, Rampage, even pay-per-views. Just a reminder in case you didn't hear me 30 seconds ago. We are going to be doing a watch-along stream, SummerSlam. It's going to be a Broken Predictions matchup, a three-way dance. Jeffrey Vegas of the High Rollers, Big T of the King's Court, and Juan. Is Juan in your faction, Jeff?
I think Juan might be one of the High Rollers. I'm not sure if he's ever committed, but I think so.
So if he is, I just want to let everyone know that as official and referee, I'm going to call this right down the middle, and I also plan on not allowing any sort of cheating. So, Jeff, you will have to face Juan clean.
No shenanigans.
No shenanigans. I will not allow it as the official of the match. But anyways, hope to see everybody again on Friday and then again on Saturday. Until next time, see you guys later.
Right on, and thank you everybody for hitting that subscribe button. We have reached 295 subscribers. 300 is next. We will see you guys soon. Top Guys out.